1943, two historic villages in the Peak District were flooded to create a reservoir. In 2018, a hot, dry summer revealed the remains of the lost villages. Some of the village's structures, such as the village pump house, was somewhat surprisingly perfectly intact. In the heart of England's Peak District National Park once stood the quaint village of Derwent. In the midst of World War II, however, the government made a monumental decision to create the Lady Bower Reservoir, a strategic water source to aid in the war effort and provide water to the surrounding cities. The construction of the reservoir necessitated the flooding of the valley, including the village of Derwent. The villagers were relocated, and the once thriving community was intentionally submerged beneath the rising waters in 1944. All buildings in the village were demolished by autumn 1943, and the impounding waters of the reservoir began to rise by the end of 1944. A 17th century pack horse bridge in the village, however, had a preservation order which prevented it from being demolished. In order to comply with this, the bridge was transported from the original location near Derwent Hall and reconstructed at the head of Howden Reservoir at Slippery Stones. It's now part of the footpaths and cycle tracks that run along the reservoirs. The bridge is a scheduled monument, and it is one of the very few structures from Derwent village to have completely survived the reservoir's construction and still be visible. Bodies from the graveyard in Derwent have been exhumed in 1940 and were reburied in a nearby village of Bamford. The church spire was left intact to form a memorial to Derwent, and at some points during the last 8 years or so, the spire was visible. However, it was dynamited on the 15th of December 1947 on the rationale of safety concerns. The history and memories of Derwent were consigned to the depths of the reservoir, leaving behind remnants of a forgotten past. Decades passed and the submerged village remained hidden, its existence only known through historic records, old photographs, and the fading memories of those that once called it home. However, in 2018, a particularly dry summer in England caused water levels of the reservoir to drop significantly. As the waters receded, the remnants of Derwent began to resurface, slowly unveiling a ghostly reminder of a bygone era. The eerie sight of the village remains rekindled interest and curiosity amongst historians, locals and tourists alike. The ruins in Derwent, including the remains of the buildings, roads and even a village church tower, emerged from the depths, creating a haunting yet captivating spectacle. Amongst the rubble, an imposing stone fireplace with its rounded columns was one of the many structures still largely intact. The reappearance of Derwent Valley stirred a mix of emotions and reactions. For some, it was a poignant reminder of the village's history and the lives that were disrupted. Many saw it as an opportunity to reconnect with their heritage, to revisit the past through tangible remnants that had long been hidden beneath the waters. Hundreds of people flocked to witness this surreal phenomenon firsthand, creating a newfound interest in the story of Derwent. With the village briefly exposed to the elements once again, efforts were initiated to document and preserve the remnants of the Derwent Valley. Archaeologists, historians and conservationists worked together to capture the history embedded in the ruins before the waters inevitably rose again. Preservation initiatives including photography, documentation and storytelling aimed at keeping the memory of Derwent alive for future generations. The resurgence of the village underscored the importance of safeguarding and commemorating our cultural heritage, even when hidden from view. As the waters of Lady Bower Reservoir once again enveloped remnants of Derwent, the village returned to its watery resting place, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate imaginations. So will Derwent Village stay hidden for another decade or more? Or will climate change, will its resurrection become a regular occurrence? Today, Derwent Valley is known for its majestic reservoirs, spectacular scenery, peaceful forests and wild open spaces. The area is home to 3 large dams, known as the Derwent Dams, which offer some of the area's most spectacular scenery. The dams are called Lady Bower, Derwent and Howden, and form Lady Bower Reservoir, Derwent Reservoir and Howden Reservoir respectively. In World War II, the topographical similarity between the upper Derwent Valley and the Ruhr Valley of Germany led to the dams being used as practice runs for the Lancaster bombers of the 617 Squadron, the Dam Busters, and it was used for practice runs before their attack on the Ruhr dams. The world famous Dam Buster film was subsequently filmed here, and the area has seen various commemorative flypasts by the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight.